Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar with Senator Markey. We are joined today by brilliant folks at the EPA to learn about their new EJ Clearinghouse. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to the Senator to offer some opening remarks before we get into the presentation. Thank you.
So beautiful. Thank you, Katie, and to my whole team for putting this on. And thanks to everyone out there for joining us this afternoon. I'm so glad to be here with some terrific experts from the EPA and all of those specialists are going to be phenomenal in terms of giving you the information which you need in order to be able to access all of the funding which is going to be available. And we've got Massachusetts EPA just personnel on board, and it's just an all-star team of specialists, of experts, of people who really care and know how to get things done. And today we're here to discuss EPA's newly launched Environmental Justice Clearinghouse, a first of its kind online tool that improves accessibility to environmental justice resources. Whether you are a grassroots organizer, leader of an organization, local or state government official, or someone who is just interested in learning more, there are numerous resources you can take advantage of. For instance, you can use the EJ Clearinghouse to find available funding opportunities, technical assistance opportunities, training materials, and publications from nearby networks who are doing local environmental justice work. But, you know, I recognize that there is a lot of information out there which can be overwhelming, especially for grassroots organizations and community leaders with lots on your plates. So this is why we're also going to learn about EPA's EJ hotline, which is a direct line you can call to speak with someone at EPA to get more information on how to address environmental justice and health issues. And if that wasn't enough, EPA also has regional EJ coordinators who you can reach out to for further assistance. And so with all of these tools, we can turn our aims into action and our priorities into projects. And this is why I fought alongside a coalition of powerful and passionate advocates to ensure that the Inflation Reduction Act, the largest climate and clean energy bill in our history, included $60 billion for environmental justice and hundreds of billions of dollars in federal dollars for clean energy, climate action, and to bring the Green New Deal to life. So thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act, we're on a path to take on the climate crisis and environmental injustice while creating good union jobs. But as we bring the Inflation Reduction Act to life, we have a responsibility to ensure that we keep our commitments to workers and to the frontline environmental justice communities, which have borne the brunt of the climate crisis for just far too long. Together, we can make sure that these programs are designed transparently and invest in a truly equitable and climate safe future for everyone. Together, we can ensure that the IRA delivers for the families, for the community organizations, for brilliant new innovators, responsible business leaders, and local governments that are fighting for a fairer future and can put these dollars to work. So if you're ready to go, we're ready to go. Back to you, Katie, so we can put our all-star team up and people can talk to them.
Thank you, Senator. So we're excited to be joined by 4 brilliant EPA folks today. So we'll be hearing from Christina Motilal, EPA Public Affairs Specialist, Piacha Terrell, Director of Community Engagement and Assistance Division in the EPA Office of Environmental Justice, Mauro Tiwi, EPA Environmental Justice Liaison for Massachusetts, and Christy Ray, Region 1 Branch Manager for the EPA Office of Regional Assistance and Integrated Strategies. So first, we're going to hear from Christina if she's ready to come off with her camera and pull up the slides. Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Senator. And thank you so much, Katie. Such a wonderful opportunity to be here today. Just to reiterate, my name is Christina Mochilal, and I am the communications lead for the EPA's Office of Environmental Justice and External Civil Rights. I'm very honored to be here with you today to talk about the Environmental Justice Clearinghouse. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and hope I do it right because we're all... There we go. That should do it. All right, I believe it's sharing. Thanks everyone for your patience there. All right, so the Environmental Justice Clearinghouse was created because of Executive Order 14096, which is entitled Revitalizing Our Nation's Commitment to Environmental Justice for All. The EPA administrator, our administrator, Michael Regan, was tasked with establishing a public internet-based whole-of-government clearinghouse composed of culturally and linguistically appropriate and accessible materials related to environmental justice. Now, I know that that's a mouthful and there's a lot there. So just to break it down a little bit more, we were hoping and have created this clearinghouse that contains information describing the activities of members of the White House Environmental Justice Interagency Council that help address issues related to environmental justice, also containing information on technical assistance, tools, and resources to assist communities with environmental justice concerns and building capacity for public participation, to be able to provide copies of training materials developed by the White House Environmental Justice Interagency Council and our members to help individuals and employees understand and carry out EJ activities, and other information that could be helpful to anybody, as the Senator said, to help push forward EJ initiatives in their communities, in their organizations, at home, anywhere that they wanted to get information about. So the clearinghouse will assist in ensuring that these environmental resources are available across the country and that they are readily available online. So I just want to talk very quickly about the development of the EJ Clearinghouse. In this process, we at EPA collaborated with the White House's Council on Environmental Quality, known as CEQ, with different members of the White House Environmental Justice Interagency Council and other federal agencies focused on advancing environmental justice across the federal government. After we worked with other agencies with CEQ and IAC on the development of the EJ Clearinghouse, we wanted to do a pilot so that we could have real-time feedback on how the clearinghouse was working. So we reached out to a multitude of different stakeholders and partners, and the clearinghouse was piloted with participants from CEQ, the IAC, and members of the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council and the National Environmental Justice Advisory Council. Both of those have wonderful and very powerful advocates and stakeholders that help push us forward at the White House and the EPA, and their feedback on the clearinghouse was invaluable. So in this pilot, we had 12 participants providing feedback to us. Some of the feedback was a little simpler to integrate, and I'll give a little bit of a demonstration on the tool in just a minute, but adding buttons that would make it more user-friendly. Some of the feedback does require a little bit more time and attention from us, like being able to filter in an easier way that's more user-friendly. So this pilot was one of the first steps we took to make sure that this clearinghouse was really getting everybody the information that they needed. So I just want to spend a little bit of time talking about what's in the clearinghouse. As I've noted, it is an online library of resources, but that could mean anything. So I just want to take a bit of time and walk through the clearinghouse with all of you, so you can learn a little bit about what's already in there and what we're also thinking could be a part of it. I'm going to go ahead and get my demonstration up here. All right, So right now, as you're seeing on the screen, the Clearinghouse has a bit of an introduction in the beginning that tells you a little bit about what I was just saying, and then the actual tool. So the EJ Clearinghouse uses the filters here to help find information about a specific category. Oh, and I think I just got a note that you can't see my browser. I'm very sorry. Let me try that again. I thought it was up. I apologize. Let me try again. Okay, hopefully that's working. Wonderful. Thank you to my team members for letting me know. All right, so at the beginning of the page, we have an introduction that has the information that I had shared with you previously, and then the tool. The tool has these categories where you can search specifically through them, or we have a search button. So one of the things I wanted to note from the previous slide that I had was we were working with the Urban Waters Learning Network. So as you'll see here, under Access Subject Matter Expertise, we have a link to the Urban Waters Learning Network, their external page that you can click on, and it will take you to their page. I also have listed on there the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, which is a federal partner. So I can type in here in the search bar, let's just use the word fish, and it would take me to the detailed EJ page for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service as a resource. We have quite a few of our federal partners that now have their pages on our Clearinghouse so that you can find federal government-wide information in one easy place. But one of the things I definitely want to draw attention to are some of our EPA resources as well. And one of those are our EJ coordinators. So a little hint and tip about the tool is whenever you've found whatever you're looking for here, to hit the reset button, because that's the way that you clear your cache and you get back to this main page to make sure you're not researching through other search functions that you've done, that you have a kind of a clear slate here. So one thing I want to let folks know that you can find here are your EPA regional EJ contacts. This is a website that we have on EPA's under our forms, where you can find all of your regional contacts for the EPA, for EJ. And also down below, you can find them by topic matters as well. So instead of having folks having to search around on the website to try and find things, you can find them all here through the Clearinghouse and hit reset and you're ready to go again. One of the other things I wanted to draw attention to were things that can really help community organizations. While this tool is a fantastic opportunity to pull all of this information together, I want to draw special attention to a couple of our categories. One of them is available funding. You'll see here that there's a few listed. We get questions constantly about open and available funding, so that's a great tool. Develop organizational capacity. There's really wonderful resources at EPA and around the federal government that help point communities and community leaders to how to build their capacity to be able to access grant funding, to be able to push forward initiatives, and it can help any variety of different stakeholders. And so it's a great way to search those from across the federal government. And then the last one I just wanted to draw a little bit of attention to is our screening and our mapping tools. Some of you may be familiar with EJ Screen, which is the EPA's environmental justice screening and mapping tool, but there's so many different environmental tools that are available through EPA and through other federal organizations and state and local governments. So mapping tools, trackers, online resources, we are beginning to pull them all here together so everyone can have them at their fingertips. So that's one part of this page. The second part of the page I want to draw attention to is the submission form. The thing about the Clearinghouse is while we have over 200 submissions, it's growing every month and it grows by suggestion. So I would like to encourage anybody on this call who is interested in submitting a resource to us through this form to please do so. It can't be an actual attached PDF, but if the document or the website, if the document that you're interested in sharing is available online, we'll take the URL for that. And then a website as well, if you're interested in sharing a resource that you think would be helpful to stakeholders who are interested in environmental justice work. So we have a couple of different drop downs here. What category does it fall into? The URL. We also accept documents in multiple languages. That's the linguistically appropriate part, hoping to build out all of our resources, even for limited English proficiency communities. And a couple of other pieces, if you can give us a keyword, maybe a brief description, it helps us understand if this is a good fit for the EJ Clearinghouse. And last but not least, one thing that we are very interested in is hearing your feedback on the tool itself. So if you're finding it complicated to submit something here, if you think the categories maybe could use some work, we have a form where you can submit your feedback on how you think the tool is doing. And I really want to take a minute to emphasize that this tool is brand new, the first of its kind, and we are very passionate about it, but it will only be successful if we know it is working for you, the stakeholders. So after you have some time to use it, search it, maybe make suggestions to us, and you find that you're running into some issues, or if you have a suggestion for improvement, we would love to hear it. So please use that form and let us know if there's anything else you'd like to see. So this page contains those three major items, providing us suggestions using the tool, and then also giving feedback on improvement for the tool itself. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to sharing my screen for the presentation. I'm going to try and make sure I get that. There we go. And just talking a little bit about our future plans for the tool. As I've noted, we are accepting new suggestions for resources to be included on a rolling basis. And we're hoping that we can incorporate the longer term suggestions from the pilot members that I mentioned before. And then also, again, really taking into account the feedback from users and considering them and addressing them as appropriate to improve the tool. So that's a little bit about the EJ Clearinghouse. I know we'll have time for question and answers later, but thank you for listening to my presentation, and I will pass it off to my coworker, Piashat Terrell, to talk about the Environmental Justice Hotline. Oh, Piashat, I think you're on mute.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Piashat Terrell, Director of the Community Engagement and Assistant Division in the Office of Environmental Justice and External Civil Rights at EPA. It's a pleasure to be here to share information on the EPA EJ hotline. First, I want to tell you how special Massachusetts is to me. It was the very first place in the United States that I learned about when I was a little girl. I learned about Massachusetts from a photograph from my mom's friend that sent us to Thailand. It was a photograph of him in the snow, so it was so magical to me. Now back to the hotline where I was supposed to be talking about. The hotline was established in 2010 to provide a service that connects community to information and resources that may assist us in addressing potential environmental and/or public health concerns. The hotline serves as a mechanism to promote the fair treatment and meaningful involvement of communities who experience or have the potential to experience adverse environmental and public health impact in their resident or communities. The hotline is a great tool with a live person who will respond to inquiries within 20 days. Most of the inquiries are addressed within a week, but we set up this goal to ensure that we respond to all inquiries as they come in. Now, we receive various type of requests or inquiries, like information on how to access EPA grants and technical assistance, requests related to pollution, waste, water, and other EPA programs. We also receive requests for assistance on research or research opportunities, as well as requests for a speaking engagement, and even requests for career opportunities. Depending on the type of inquiries or jurisdiction, our hotline specialist will connect the inquirer to either our regional expert, our EJ team in the area, state or local expert. This past year, we had a total of 27 requests from Massachusetts. We received 9 general information inquiries, 4 related to land. We had 1 on pesticides or toxic substance. We had 6 on solid waste and 3 related to water. We are super, super proud of our EJ hotline because we hear from the communities all the time that they're very happy to speak to a live person who can actually assist them. Now, you know, we thank you for this opportunity to share with you all. And if you have any questions, I can answer them now. Or if you don't have any questions, I'll turn it back to Christina and our other colleagues. Any questions on the hotline?
Thanks, Pia Chat. We're going to hold questions until the end so we can go back to Christina if that's okay.
That's okay. Thank you.
Thanks for that. I'll just wrap up this by saying that these resources are our way of trying to meet communities more where you are. The Clearinghouse is really an opportunity for us to pull all of this information, this great information, these resources from across the federal government into one place. And the hotline, the same thing. Emails are great. We do respond to those email boxes as well, but I do know that sometimes just talking to someone on the phone can be really nice. So we really hope you utilize these resources from the Office of Environmental Justice and External Civil Rights. And thank you for having us today. And I'll pass it back over to the Senator's team. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Christina. We're going to have Mauro now share the slides for the EPA Region 1 Environmental Justice Program. So Mauro, if you're ready. Or Christy, if you have the slides.
Sure. Can I test and see if you can hear us okay?
Yeah, you sound great, Christy. Thank you.
All right, let's see if I can successfully get our slides up and viewed for everyone. Everyone can let me know if they can see the slides in a way that is easy to see.
That looks great, Christy. There we go. Perfect.
Okay, fantastic. And let me see if Mauro's been able to join as well.
Hi, everyone.
Excellent. All right. Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us this afternoon. And special thanks to Senator Markey and his incredibly talented team for hosting us today. My name is Christy Ray-Simino. I'm the branch manager for the Environmental Justice, Community Health, and Environmental Review Division at EPA Region 1. I'm thrilled to be here today and thrilled to talk about our new program. Our division manages 4 different programs: environmental justice, children's environmental health, environmental education, and the National Environmental Policy Act. These programs work across environmental media. And by that, we mean the air, water, waste, land programs. And all these programs have in common that we address environment and public health concerns in New England communities. And today, we're thrilled to join our colleagues from EPA headquarters to introduce very briefly our regional environmental justice program, give you a preview of an upcoming regional grant competition that we want everyone to be aware of, and share some options for you to connect with our growing environmental justice program. So now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Mauro from EPA Region 1.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mauro Atiwi, and I'm an environmental justice specialist at EPA Region 1. I joined EPA Region 1 in October 2023, and my environmental justice work is focused on the state of Massachusetts, and more specifically, the city of Boston and the city of New Bedford. I work very closely with two other colleagues who also work with Massachusetts communities, but they were not able to join tonight. Christy mentioned the name and programs in our new division earlier. This is an exciting time for Region 1 because our environmental justice program is growing. What used to be a one-person program is now up to 15, and it is still growing. This is great, as it means we'll be better equipped to learn about community concerns and work with other federal, state, and community partners to bring resources and tools to address the concerns and working towards environmental and public health improvements in communities that are overburdened and underserved. As an environmental justice specialist, I am working to expand community engagement, manage grant projects, serve as a resource liaison for Region 1 programs, and help provide support and assistance. Next slide, please. Today, I'm going to preview an upcoming grant competition that is unique to EPA Region 1, the Healthy Communities Grant Program. Next slide, please. The Healthy Communities Grant Program has been around since 2003 and is a competitive grant program for EPA New England to fund direct work with communities to support EPA's mission to reduce environmental risks, protect and improve human health, and improve quality of life. The Healthy Communities Grant Program targets resources to benefit communities at risk, help and assess, understand, and reduce environmental and human health risks, increase collaboration through partnerships and community-based projects, build community capacity to understand and solve environmental and human health problems, and achieve measurable environmental and human health benefits. Next slide, please. As eligible projects under the Healthy Communities Grant Program, proposed projects must meet the following criteria. 1, be located in and/or directly benefit one or more of the target investment areas. 2, identify how the proposed project will achieve measurable environmental and/or public health results in one or more of the target program areas. The estimated target investment areas and target program areas are listed on this slide and will be described in more detail in the application guidance. Applications may be submitted for amounts up to $40,000 in federal funding. It is anticipated that project periods for agreements will have 1 or 2 year project periods that will start no earlier than April 1st, 2025. Although the project can last up to 2 years, the total amount requested for federal resources cannot exceed the $40,000 limit. When this application guidance goes live towards the end of June, EPA Region 1 will organize a series of free webinar trainings for anyone interested in learning more. Next slide, please. So we're continually expanding our contacts in Massachusetts. Anyone interested can either email the e-newsletter email or my personal email to be added. For example, the newsletter will include information on new and open grant competitions, like the upcoming Healthy Communities grant program I just mentioned. If you would like to learn more through personal meetings, please email or call me. And we can set up a time to talk, or I can connect you with one of my other colleagues working in Massachusetts. We really are always happy to connect and learn more about the environmental and public health concerns facing your community. And we look forward to try to explore opportunities to connect you with all of the EPA Region 1 programs. Please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much, Mauro. We appreciate it. And you too, Christy, for all the work that you're doing here in EPA Region 1 and especially for Massachusetts.